Trust is what makes an army, not a bunch of guys running around shooting guns. Captain America. Okay, in today's video blog, I want to talk about the fix and flip buy formula. Now, when it comes to flipping houses, the key to making a profit is understanding all of our numbers, right? So when we buy a house, we fix it up, we sell it, hopefully what's left is a profit, right? So when we do that, we need to look at some numbers that are involved, and then we can create a formula to whenever we look at deals, we know how to analyze the deal to make sure we're buying it for the right price so that we make a profit. So first thing we want to know is what we call ARV. Now ARV stands for after repair value. That's the price the home is going to sell for once we fix it up. So then we're going to have what? Our buy price, what we bought the property for. We're going to have our repairs, what we spent fixing it up. Then we're going to have what we call soft cost. Now what is soft cost? Soft cost is the fees you pay when you buy a property and then when you sell a property. So these are closing fees, real estate commissions, property tax, could be title insurance, it could be all the fees, recording fees associated with buying and selling. So we call that our soft cost. You have those every time you buy and sell real estate. The other thing we have is our carrying cost. Now carrying cost is our cost of capital. Remember, we've got capital to buy the property, we've got capital to fix it up, and that capital outlay during that project, we're going to have financing costs on that, right? So we call that carrying cost. Whether it's private money, hard money, bank financing, whatever it is, there's a cost of capital during that project. So we call that carrying cost. Now, when we subtract out all of this, hopefully we're left with a profit, right? Now, when it comes to looking at deals, you don't want to have to go through and figure all of this out, add everything all up and subtract it to try to figure out, what you should buy a deal for. What we can do to kind of make this a lot easier is we have a formula that we follow. So let's put the formula up here. What it is it's ARV times 0.65. Let's go to that point right now. So if you think about it, if we take our after repair value, what it's going to sell for, and we multiply that by 0.65, that's the same as subtracting out 35%. So we're going to do a little bit of 7th grade math here, right? So we're going to take out 35%. Why 35%? Well, let me show you. What happens here is our soft cost typically accounts for 10% of sale price. Commissions alone are typically 6%. That leaves another 4% on the buy and sell for the other costs that we talked about, so 10%. Our carrying costs are typically 5%. Okay, 5%. So we're at 15%, 5% of the sale price. So that gives us 15% now of total cost. And then the other thing that we're going to factor in is our profit. Now, profit, we want to go with 20% profit. So whatever we sell the property for, we want to make sure we're shooting for a 20% profit. Why 20% profit? Some people might say, well, I'd be happy with 15 or 10. Here's the reason why. If something goes not according to plan, it doesn't sell for as much as you want, or the costs go over, where's that going to cut into? It's going to cut into your profit. I always go into my deals with a 20% profit margin. You should too. Okay? If you hit that target, great. If you're a little bit off, you've got some room still to make money. Nothing is worse than going into a deal with really tight margins and then not making money or losing money. That's not what we want to do here. So 20%. So think about this, 20, 30, 35. So these three things here alone are 35% of our ARV. So ARV times 0.65 accounts for these three things. Then what we do is we subtract our repairs. Now our repairs are going to vary on every single project, right? So we got to calculate out what our repairs are. We subtract that number, and then that equals our buy price. That's our formula. ARV times 0.65 minus the repairs, whether it's 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, whatever it is on those repairs, equals our buy price. Here's the cool thing. To figure out what you need to buy a property for, every single time you're looking at deals, there's two things you need to know. You need to know the ARV and you need to know the repairs, because the rest of this is a formula. We've already calculated out what that should be. So if you're following this formula here, you need to, when you're looking at a deal, you need to be able to figure out what will this property sell for, fixed up, and what are my repairs to get it there. Those two things, you can run the formula every single time. Now what's great too is you can have tools that will do this for you. I've got some tools that do that. I call it my deal analyzer, right? So what it does is you punch in the numbers and it calculates it out for you. And this is our fix and flip buy formula. Now if we're wholesaling, we've got one more number to put in there. After we subtract out repairs, we need to subtract out our wholesale fee. Okay, so whatever our wholesale fee is. Then that equals our buy price, right? Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we've calculated in our wholesale fee when we're going to flip this property. All right, so real quickly here, let me go through an example so you can see what this looks like. So if I know that just use simple numbers, that my ARV is 100,000. If ARV is 100,000, and let's say repairs are 20,000. Okay, repairs. Now those are the only two things we need to know. So let's do our formula. So we've got 100,000 times 0.65 minus 20,000 equals our buy price, right? So 65% of 100,000 is 65,000 minus 20 is 45,000. So 45,000 would be our buy price. If we do that and we hit those numbers, we'll make a 20% profit on that deal, and that's how it's done. If we're wholesaling this deal and we want to make a $7,000 wholesale fee, then we'll subtract that. That'll get us down to 38,000 is our buy price. So when you're going to make an offer, now you know, if I buy this, my maximum offer needs to be 45,000 if I'm going to flip this property. And that's your fix and flip buy formula. Thanks.